I play a volunteer dentist because I don't think people realize that there are a lot of volunteers who go to the games as doctors, as chiropractors, dentists, because they love the Olympics and they want to be around the athletes and work with the athletes. And it's based on somewhat of an experience that you had at the Rio Games.
So a volunteer doctor in Rio befriended me, and that can happen. You're passing each other all sorts of places in the dining hall and whatnot, and I was, focused on my race, engaged in other people and activities, so that didn't, that was just a friendship, and this movie is really about a friendship similar to that, but it happens to be between two people who are at a crossroads in their life. Penelope, my character, is wondering what's next, which every Olympian actually doesn't think about until they have to.
Yeah, that was what was interesting, sort of cut in. But we went out with some Olympians throughout, but at the last night we went and sang karaoke, and they had all just had their races, a bunch of like mogul skiers and freestyle skiers. And they really were having the experience that Alexi's character, Penelope, has in the film, which is like a lot of them had personal bests. A lot of them had the best race of their life, and they finished 20th because they're at the Olympics and they're on this other level. And so it's like, what do you do when your whole life has been towards this one goal of competing in the Olympics and hopefully winning gold, and that doesn't happen because it's really hard to win a gold medal or medal at all. And what do you do with the rest of your life? And so her character is in this moment where she's like, what am I going to do now that I've raced at the Olympics, and my character is a dentist who's fulfilling this dream of going to the Olympics, but is at his own crossroads in his life. And they sort of come together and it's sort of like a Before Sunrise vibe, lost in translation, but under the backdrop of this huge, enormous event, which is the Olympics. And so it's kind of the amazing thing about shooting, and Jeremy shoots it beautifully with this thing of like, it's this tiny little movie with these two people, but you're inside of this grand world event, and it's so, because of that, it's really cinematic in a way that most movies of this size and scale don't ever feel.
Yeah, as a filmmaker, I got to go to the Olympics when Alexi competed in 2016 in Rio and walk around the Olympic Village, and just in the back of your mind, you're thinking, this would be an amazing film set. I'm already scheming how to bring cameras in. And then we got invited to this artist in residence program in the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics because the Olympic team had seen our previous film Tracktown and knew Alexi as an athlete. And so we got to go back, like the three of us. So it was a tight operation, but it was just so cool to actually be able to have access to these real life locations that are just like sets you can't even imagine, and they're just they become characters in the film. It's the first fictional film ever made in a real active Olympic village. We were in the athlete dorms, but we also went to the figure skating practice arena and shot this dialogue scene there. Just wild.
The game room, the dining hall, the places where the athletes are the most nervous or the most relaxed. It's where I went to escape. We had this unique access, and I think us being a 3-person crew made us, respectful of the space and enter it in a way that a traditional film crew couldn't really enter. We were really inspired, certainly, by the locations and by the things that we found. We came in with a pretty good outline for what we wanted to happen in each scene and for what the beats were, but we didn't necessarily know where these beats were going to take place, how they would progress within a scene. And that's where Jeremy was an amazing director and Nick was an amazing collaborator, because to have that kind of flexibility and skill to mold yourself around a moving, living thing, which the Olympics is it takes bravery, it takes, confidence. And I think that's something that Jeremy and Nick and hopefully and myself brought into this project, where we were like, this is an opportunity, not an obstacle. Everything we took is an opportunity.
We have scenes where the dental office is an active dental office, and they kind of let us take over one of the treatment rooms where we just became our little set for all the dental office scenes. At one point it was this emotional scene. I don't want to give anything away, but an emotional scene, and one of the actual volunteer dentists just walked in, and they stayed in character, and it's in the movie because it's magic. Everyone thinks we planted that, but we did not.
And so There's a bunch of stuff throughout the movie where we're in the middle of these emotional scenes and people are like, being like, is this the bus that goes to the other facility? And we're like,
well, so Nick is wearing the volunteer outfits, right? Because he's in costume, and so people were asking him for advice, directions, and all sorts of things, just thinking that he was there for them. I hope that people take away that they've seen a side of the Olympics that they've never seen before, that they may never have access to again. And also the human experience of chasing a dream or pursuing something that you are not sure about. And what does it take to make the brave step to getting on that roller coaster versus the easy or not?
yeah. And I just to follow that up, I think it was in the movie, that's what these characters are struggling with, to like take that risk of taking a leap of faith into whatever is next. And for me, doing this film with them was that experience of like, I don't know what this is going to be, and just jumping in. And I think hopefully in the film, and definitely in making the film, it definitely feels like that ethos was confirmed for me of like, take risks and jump in, and because you don't know what's gonna happen. And I think what happened was the future Oscar-winning film Olympic Dreams.
Thank you.